There is just one preseason game remaining for the Toronto Raptors as they fall this evening 105-91 to the Chicago Bulls there at Scotiabank Arena there this evening. And you know what? This game is... you don't want to dwell on the game like this. Anybody thinking, wow, you lost Chicago by 14? Oh my God, that's terrible. The starting lineup for the Toronto Raptors, Malcolm Miller, OG Anunoby, Chris Boucher, Patrick McCaw, and my boy Terrence Davis. Do you know who didn't play? Basically the whole team. And that's okay. You know, I mean, with Kyle Lowry, I'm assuming that he's going to be playing in the last preseason game. I think we're going to see quite a few of the Raptors in the final preseason game of the year. I think it's on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, of October, something like that. But, again, you know, this was a game that you kind of had a feeling was going to be a loss. They have all their players, Otto Porter Jr., Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Satoransky, and Zach LaVine. They all played. So you expected with a Raptor team looking like that, you didn't expect some good things happening for the Toronto Raptors in the game there this evening. But there are some positives. I mean, you know what? The preseason's not really about wins and losses. The Raptors are 1-2 in the preseason. Who cares? Honestly. The Leafs were terrible at the beginning of the preseason. And they won like 3 or 4 in a row. But who cares? They're 3-2-1 in the regular season. That's what matters for the Leafs. For the Raptors, there's 0-0 in the regular season. So just let's all take a breath, relax, and talk about the positives out of today's ball game, all right? Now, one positive, I think a huge positive you have to take from a game like this, OG Anunoby. I mean, look, yeah, he only had 15 points in 27 minutes, 2 boards, 4 assists, but he shot 5 of 9, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. He was 1 of 2 from 3. He had a couple steals in the game, minus 28 while he was on the floor. But their starting unit, you knew the starting unit for the Chicago Bulls were going to crush the Raptors starting unit just because of who they are. I mean, it took him the third quarter to actually pull away from us, but I mean, look, for the most part, OG had a pretty good ball game. I liked his drive offensively. You look at the way OG plays. We keep hearing young Kawhi. That's what we keep hearing about OG. Now, Kawhi's a strong guy. We all know that by now. That guy can play hard, physical, and do everything he can. You saw OG today. Driving into the lane, getting a couple tough buckets with a ton of contact, and had to barrel through the guys to get to it. I mean, look, I'm not saying that's a sign of things to come. But if OG Anunoby can play like that, he'll find a spot on this Raptor team in a very big situation. Now, the question will be, though, can he do it on a consistent basis? And can he have other things? Can he get a consistent three-point shot? Can he get a mid-range shot? Can he do the free throw line? There's all points of questions when it comes to OG. You know what he can do defensively. He's got the potential defensively. You just got to see it come out. And that's the thing for OG that the Raptor fans, the Raptors organization want to see. They want to see him take that next step. They want to see him succeed. And a game like today where he led the team in scoring, he shot over 50%, he got a couple steals, those are positives take from a loss where you really weren't in the game for most of the game. You know, Malcolm Miller, he wasn't very good. 5 points in 17 minutes, didn't get a rebound, didn't get an assist. He was horrendous defensively. A couple plays where he just kind of just stood there. I'm not sure what he was thinking. But that's just that. Chris Boucher, again, a guy that you need to see take that next step this year for the Raptors. A guy you saw come in the garbage situations. Look, the guy didn't he win like offensive and defensive player of the year last year in the G League? That is unheard of. You got to see him take that next step. He had 11 points, two boards in this game, 4 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. That's not good. 1 of 2 from 3 and a couple steals. He had 4 blocks. You know what that guy's going to give you. You know the rim protection that he's going to give you. You know the active hands. He's a great defender, is Chris Boucher. The question will be, though, is he going to be able to play physical with the big guys in the league? Is he going to be able to shoot a consistent 3? And does he have anything else? Yeah, I mean, there's all question marks for Chris Boucher moving forward into the year. I'm excited to watch him develop and see what kind of he does this season. But again, they're all question marks heading into the year. My boy Terrence Davis, 6 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes on 3 of 9 shooting. He was 0 of 3 from 3 in 22 minutes of work. Again, not the greatest ball game for Terrence Davis. Look, 6, 4, and 4. It's not a terrible line for a guy who's not going to be playing a whole lot this year. But again, a guy that I still like, his points, again, it reminded me of a little bit of an OG there, where he drove hard to the bucket. Now, his wasn't with as much contact, but he did a great job finding a way to get to the tin. And that's what guys like Fred VanVleet are so good at. So I think a guy like Terrence Davis is going to be a great guy to have around. Stanley Johnson, I don't know, he hasn't impressed me at all this preseason. 5 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. He 1 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from 3. He had a steal and a block. He was actually a plus 14 on the floor when Stanley Johnson was out there. But I mean, when you're shooting 1 of 5, you know, it's a tough one. I thought he was pretty good defensively. And all the advertised, you know, signings the Raptors have made have been a lot of defensive signs. We hear Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's a great defender. We hear Stanley Johnson's a great defender. That's what we keep hearing with these signings, and that's not bad. But you need them to be able to put the bucket. Oh my God, ball in the net! Holy smokes! I don't know why that was so difficult to say. And Stanley Johnson so far this preseason has not shown that he can do that. Plain and simple. Look, I understand you're a great defender, and great defenders are great to have in this league and on teams and on contending teams. But you got to be able to score at least something. You saw with Norman Powell I wouldn't say the last few years, but you know, since that great first season, the great playoff run that he had against Indiana, really, you hadn't seen that Norman Powell since. He's a great defender, but he had never been consistent offensively to put himself in the lineup. And for a guy like Stanley Johnson, you want to see him take that next step. You haven't seen that yet. My boy Matt Thomas brought over from, I think it was either China. I think was it China? I'm not too sure exactly, but we keep hearing sharpshooter. He had 12 points in the game in 19 minutes, shot 5 of 10, and had 2 of 5 from 3. I'll take those numbers any day for a guy coming off the bench and only playing 20 minutes of work. DeJuan Hernandez, the Raptors' second-round pick this past season. Again, didn't shoot the ball very well, shot 2 of 9. But again, he had 7 points, 11 rebounds, got a couple assists with 3 of 5 from the line. Only a -3 in the game. Look, DeJuan Hernandez is a guy that might actually play a bigger part than people think in this year for the Raptors, just because the center core for this team isn't very deep. You have Gasol, you have you know, Boucher and Ibaka who can play the 5, but you don't really want them to if you can avoid it. And for a guy like DeJuan Hernandez, a big physical presence on the inside. What is he? He's 6'11", 235. I mean, you know, he's a bigger dude. He just got drafted. You want to see what you have. It would not surprise me. The Raptors use him a lot more than people think. Now, a lot of the other guys who came in didn't do a terrible job. The Raptors actually made a comeback late in the game, and it was all due to the effects of Cameron Payne, Brissett, Hollis-Jefferson, Robinson, you know, Taylor, and Conte. Those guys did a job. They did a really good job when they came in. I'm not saying any of these players are going to make the team because they're just not really. I mean, maybe Cameron Payne because he's been around the league a little bit, but I mean, look, Payne had 5, Brissett had 6, Hollis-Jefferson had 6.6 boards, had shot 2 of 2, 2 of 2 from the line. He had a great ball game. It was a plus 13. And he played 16 minutes. Hollis-Jefferson had a great ball game. Robinson, 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. Brissett had 6 points on 2 of 5. Payne was 5 points, 5 boards, but he was 1 of 7. That is really bad, if you ask me. And the other guys were 1 of 1 and 1 and 2. Nothing too crazy there. But they did a really good job coming back. The Raptors actually won the fourth quarter by 17, 30 to 17. Sorry, 30 to 13. And they were still lost by 14. You could tell how bad it was after 3 quarters of play. But in the end, like we talked about, guys, preseason is preseason. We're here to talk about players that you don't see a whole lot, you don't see too often. Go in there and impress. Go in there and open some eyes. And I think guys like Matt Thomas, DeJuan Hernandez, somewhat on the grabbing rebounds, because Raptor fans, we all know that grabbing rebounds has been a big issue for this team for years. So getting a guy like DeJuan Hernandez, if he can be a guy who can consistently grab boards day in, day out, I'm not going to care what he does on offense. For the most part, we love Bismack Biyombo. You know why? Energy. Grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, being a presence. And I'm not saying DeJuan Hernandez is going to be that, but if he can turn into something along those lines, I'm never going to complain about him. You know, and guys like Terrence Davis, who I'm pretty sure is going to get a premier spot on the 905, if I'm not mistaken. That's probably going to be the case. The guard spot for the Raptors is pretty thin. Patrick McCaw, I mean, he only had 2 points in 20 minutes. He shot 1 of 4, but it was a nice pass. I think it was DeJuan Hernandez or Terrence Davis, one of the two, who actually made the pass to McCaw, who made a really good dunk there. I think it was in the second quarter. But nonetheless, guys, Raptors lose by 14. Whatever. It's preseason. And the final preseason game, I'm going to try and find it here for you guys, is on the 18th of October. So Friday. as the Raptors are in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. It's at Barclays Center in the final preseason game. I'm assuming that we're going to see most of the Toronto Raptors in that lineup. I'm going to guess you're going to see Kyle Lowry for the first time this preseason. Unless he's not 100% healed, then they won't bring him back. You're going to see a lot of probably Marcus Gasol or Ibaka. Everybody else, basically. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be able to see a real Raptors team. I don't know what the Nets are going to throw out there. It's going to be, remember, the Nets got Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, obviously Kevin Durant, but not right now. So it's a very different looking Brooklyn Nets this season. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these teams battle it out there in our division. And on Friday night in preseason action for the final one of the preseason. Thank goodness. Let's get this thing going. I'm getting a little anxious here because I don't want any more preseason games. It's getting boring. Come on now. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys, enjoyed seeing some OG Anunoby perform pretty well, let's go with that. Smack that like button. Do appreciate that, you guys. And the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game today. Your thoughts on anybody that impressed you in this ball game. Again, I thought guys like Matt Thomas looked pretty good. I thought OG looked pretty good. Again, there was other guys who I thought looked okay, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too out of the water. If there's anybody that really stood out to you that I didn't mention, go nuts in the comments below, guys. Please go do so. All right. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Leafs edition. It'll be on Tuesday as the Leafs welcome the Minnesota Wild to Scotiabank Arena. I think I was just doing the face. I'm like, am I right? I think I was right. 7 o'clock puck drop there at Scotiabank Arena. Alex Stalock, Frederik Andersen are the starting pitchers. Oh, you still see baseballs on my mind. Starting goaltenders in that game on Tuesday. And as for the Raptors, like we talked about, they take on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center on Friday night, 7:30 tip-off. Raps, Nets. Let's end the preseason off on a good note and head into the season on a winning one. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys then.